your favourite memory from our high five. Call and tell us and you'll have the right money. $5,000 for a trip to Barcelona yourself. For the Dyson brand.
You're reaching for the blower. We'll trouble Ian Maurice for another sports update.
Good on you, Max, thank you. Evander Holyfield has retained the undisputed heavyweight championship of the world, beating the ageing former champ Larry Holmes in Las Vegas on points. Few expected the 42-year-old Holmes to go the distance, but he was able to absorb the free-swinging Holyfield and score a few of his own. It was a unanimous decision, but the crowd favourite Holmes was far from disgraced.
Ooh, a good left by Holyfield. Wobbled Holmes a bit. Under 30 left in the fight. He goes against the ropes. Evander with a right and a left. Holmes comes back with uppercuts that don't land that cleanly. And Evander backs out. Good flurry by the champion. 10 seconds left in the fight.
I think Evander just played for the winner by unanimous decision and still the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, Evander Real Deal Holyfield.
And a reminder, the fight can be seen on selected Sky Channel outlets from 5:30 this afternoon. Max, there's hope for you and me yet.
Yeah, a little common sense is going to prevail, though, Bear. I don't think you should get in the ring, and I don't think I should get in the ring. There's no way we would go the distance.
You're right there.
Mind you, for $7 or $8 million, we might even think about it. The first leg of the Daily Double at Sandown today is the anniversary handicap. Here's Kenny Callender.
Thanks, Max. Yeah, a sprint race in Melbourne, and it seems that we've come up with one of the favourites in the tipping. So let's hope that TAB number 5, Diamond Zephyr, can do the trick. Right, the prices. Centip is at 9-2. Dancing Gambler 7-2, likely to come in just a little bit. Raja Supreme at 8-1. Now remember, these are Victorian TAB prices, and they're approximate just before the race. Glacier Peak is at 25-1. Diamond Zephyr, Damien Oliver, 2's getting out a little bit. We might make it 9-4. And that's the horse I think will win. Don't worry if she gets back a little bit early. She will be steaming home down the long Sandown straight. Max Tempo also be running home strongly, is at 12-1. Rule the Stars at 9-1. Havelock's Pride and All Star were not required. Century Magic is a 33-1 chance. Acid Test at 50-1. Rich Lord 140-1. Nicky Do is at 60-1. Prince of Istanbul at 66-1. Cyval at 80-1. Klondike at 200-1. And Top Summit also at 200-1. As you can see, the horses are just starting to go in. They're mingling behind the barrier there at the 1,300 metres at Sandown. Track in Melbourne is pretty wet. It's been a lot of rain in recent weeks down there. It was given out heavy this morning, but it's not a bog. Earlier winners haven't had a lot of trouble getting through it. However the conditions, it will not worry Diamond Zephyr. She can win on top of the ground, or she can hoe through slush, which is sort of what we wanted to do today. Dancing Gambler, Darren Gauchi's mount, is also very much in commission in the betting, and a lot of punters seem to think that she's got a great chance in the race. If you're looking for them, Diamond Zephyr races in red with a purple sash, white sleeves and a purple cap, colours that a lot of the Lee Friedman trained horses run in, and Dancing Gambler races in black with a red sash and a red cap. It's the other favourite. Centip, very reliable, ran second at Sandown last week, races in lime, raw blue and cerise colours, and he's also got a chance. Okay, there's only about 1 or 2 to go in. An opportune time to go down to our caller, John Russell at Sandown.
At her last start. Now they're all set to go. The anniversary handicap. First leg of the Daily Double here in Melbourne. Soon be on their way, waiting for the light. They settle away. They go to a good start too, and Top Summit, one of the first to jump out with Glacier Peak, and Dancing Gambler began well with Acid Test the outside. Nicky Dua, Prince of Istanbul is in behind them, followed by Raja Supreme and Max Tempo and Centepa. Over on the inside, Klondike, followed by Diamond Zephyr. Further back in the field, a Rich Lord. Cyval is behind them, followed by Century Magic and Rule the Stars last. Down past the 1,000 metre mark, and Dancing Gambler on the inside is headed by Acid Test. Close up on the inside is Top Summit, being followed closely by Nicky Dua, a length and a half. Glacier Peak on the inside. inside of Max Tempo going around them, and so is Send Tip out deeper on the track. Raja Suprema. They're followed by Prince of Istanbul on the inside there of Rich Lord, followed by Diamond Zephyr and Cyval Rule the Stars. Klondike second last and Century Magic is last. 600 metres left to go. Acid Test is joined in the lead here by Nicky Dua. A length and a half to Send Tip up on the outside of Max Tempo as they make the home turn. Then Dancing Gambler, Raja Supreme as they straighten. Rich Lord is further back. A long gap to Cyval and Century Magic at the 400 metre mark. Acid Test the leader. Nicky Dua and Send Tip finishing well down the outside, and Max Tempo's getting a lovely run along the inside. Max Tempo on the inside has gone up to tackle Send Tip in the front, and they're locked together. Send Tip on the outside, and Max Tempo, who's doing a bit the better with 100 metres left to go. He's 3/4 of a length to Send Tip, who can't go on. Rule the Stars from a long way back, but Max Tempo's in front, close to home. He'll be too good, Max Tempo. Winning double to Greg Charles. Max Tempo's won by over a length to Send Tip. Rule the Stars third, followed by Diamond Zephyr. Then Rich Lord, Raja Supreme, Acid Test, followed by Cyval, Nicky Doo. And further back was Top Summit, followed by Century Magic, Dancing Gambler, weakened right out of it. Then Glacier Peak and Klondike, and the last home is Prince of Istanbul.
Get a leg up. If I could get a leg up, boy. You know I ain't that handsome, no. But you know I ain't shy, shy, shy.
Welcome back. The first leg of the Randwick Double is the J.W. Austin Handicap. Here's Johnny Tapp.
Good on you, Max. Yes, the John Austin Handicap Race 6 coming up at Randwick on another glorious day. Colonial Spirits run, Ken, last Saturday was the subject of a prolonged steward's probe. Has he been supported on the tote today?
He sure has, John. He's favoured on the tote. Bookies gave as much as 3-1 or 13-4 in the ring, but he's into $3.20 on the tote. He's a little bit of a risk, I think, at the 2,000 metres, but his run was so super last week, you've probably got to tip him. Let's look at these prices. Guile is at 6.5 to 1, 9-4 favourite Colonial Spirit, 66.0 Prince Hayes, 5 Willie Tell, 16 Garfunkel. A little bit of money for him today. Make that into about 14s. Big Raps 10s into 9s. Destiny Boy at 14 to 1, 5 in the money, 9 Dobbin, 30 Sungent, 60 Moriarty. Lake Road was ran in an earlier race where she had no success. Royal Marine at 50 to 1 and Travelling Gold at 80 to 1. They're all in. Here's the best caller in the business, Johnny Tapp.
Thank you, Ken. All set as the starter Bill Cooper hops onto the rostrum and he's ready to dispatch the field. Destiny Boy stands up well. G. Dobbin's a big horse. 4 pick handles across the quarters. Off and running. Good start, and in the money a shade slow to move. Colonial Spirit, one of the first out. Big Raps began well, and so did Willie Tell, followed by Destiny Boy, Moriarty. Sungent is handy, but is out very deep in the early stages, followed by Royal Marine, and then Prince Hayes, Garfunkel. Further back, Travelling Gold when they settle down from Guile, followed by Dobbin, and back at the tail in the money. Over the first crossing, and Big Raps in his favourite role of pacemaker, led by a little more than a length to Destiny Boy. Running third, Sungent, and Colonial Spirit tucked away in the box seat. A couple coming fast around the outside are Garfunkel and Travelling Gold, and now they're going to put on some pace at the 1400 mark, and Big Raps is being attacked by Garfunkel and Travelling Gold out 3 deep. The leader got fired up a little bit. On the fence, Destiny Boy, followed by Sungent. Moving around the outside, Royal Marine, and Colonial Spirit got shuffled back a little bit now to be midfield on the inside of Willie Tell. There's Dobbin taking off, and going with him is Moriarty. It's a race of changes. Further back, Prince Hayes on the inside of Guile, and back at the tail in the money. To the top turn past the 1,000 mark, and Big Raps getting little piece in front, led by about a neck to Garfunkel as they approach the crossing. 2 lengths away, Travelling Gold between horses, followed by Royal Marine, and Dobbin is taking off around the outside. On the fence, Destiny Boy, and a gap then to Moriarty and Sungent, and Colonial Spirit is strung up on the fence with nowhere to go. Further back is Guile, followed by Willie Tell, and in the money, and dropping out last, Prince Hayes as they near the turn where they're packed up tightly, and Big Raps hard ridden just led Garfunkel. Dobbin is on the outside as they come around the corner. Destiny Boy waiting for a run, followed by Royal Marine, who's dropped off a bit, and then Colonial Spirit and Guile to the extreme outside as they come over the rise, where Destiny Boy has raced up to head Garfunkel. Guile putting in his run, and Colonial Spirit into the clear, trying to get between them. Destiny Boy tackled by Guile, Colonial Spirit in between them, and further out is in the money. It's Destiny Boy, Guile. Guile has grabbed the lead in the shadows of the post and punched hard by Sean Campton. Guile is drawing away to beat Destiny Boy. Colonial Spirit third in front of In the Money, followed by Willie Tell, Sun Gent, Garfunkel. Then Royal Marine and Prince Hayes, followed by Dobbin. Further back is Big Raps, and then Travelling Gold and Moriarty is last.
Coming up on Wide World of Sports, in an exclusive preview of Wimbledon 92, we talk to the rejuvenated Pat Cash. The money is up for grabs as we put $5,000 on the line in our Memorable Moments giveaway. We'll shake you up with another super energy session in the Australian Aerobics Team's title and have you all teed up for round 2 highlights from the 1992 US Open at Pebble Beach. From the blue waters of Hawaii, the Aussie teams match it with a huge international field in the grueling Molokai outrigger race. From the Canary Isles, the muscles flex and the eyes pop as we find ourselves a winner of the world's strongest man event. And from Paris, the quest for excellence continues in the World's Gymnastics Championships. Soccer's crazy supporter, Billy Connolly, takes an hilarious shot at an all-round ball code. Those crafty canines will show you who's boss in State of Origin dog trials. And we'll crank up the throttle with Michael Doohan as he zeroes in on the 1992 World 500cc title. Tonight, the rugby league action comes from the Bulldog Pit of Belmore Park, where Canterbury are at home to the Cronulla Sharks. Early starters can tee off with the world's best tomorrow morning when we resume our exclusive live coverage with round 3 of the 1992 US Open from Pebble Beach. Then join Max Walker for the Sunday edition of Wide World of Sports, including highlights of Evander Holyfield's heavyweight title clash with Larry Holmes. A feast of football from our team of experts. All the top turf action from John Tapp and Shane Dye. On Sports Sunday tomorrow afternoon, we reopen the files on the Helsinki Games, one of the finest but most forgotten chapters in Australian sporting history. Translate the sports language of body talk and take a special look at what has made California's Pebble Beach one of the great shrines of international golf. On our big Sunday night rugby league replay, reigning premiers, the Penrith Panthers, will be out to restore their pride at the expense of the front-running Eastern Suburbs Roosters. Baseball fans are in for a treat early Monday morning with our coverage of American Major League action. Then it's back to Pebble Beach for our live telecast of the final round of the US Open. Then on Monday night, book the best seat in the house for the next fortnight when we open the serving on day 1 of our exclusive coverage of the most fabulous fortnight in world tennis, Wimbledon 92. On Tuesday morning, it's auto action from the United States as the open wheelers open the throttle on the Portland IndyCar Grand Prix. Then on Tuesday night, join our team at Newcastle's Marathon Stadium when the Knights joust with the British Lions in a Rugby League International. All that and a whole lot more coming your way right here on the one and only Wide World of Sports.
Before
Welcome back. Ian Maurice has the latest at the Sports Desk.
Yes, good on you, Max. The recapping information for you on the race 6 at Randwick, the anniversary handicap on the numbers 1, 7 and 2. Guile, $7 even and $2.70. Destiny Boy, $3.70. Colonial Spirit, $1.70. And in just a few moments, the big race of the day in Brisbane, the Doomben Cup. Ken Callender likes the brilliant Rough Habit, with Jim Cassidy hoping to pull off the Stradbroke Cup double. 3 AFL games on today, right as I speak. In fact, at progress scores, Hawthorn, West Coast, Hawthorn 4-6 to West Coast 5-4. And Jason Dunstall kicked 5 goals in that game already. Richmond and St Kilda. And St Kilda 13-8 with Tony Lockett kicking 7 goals against Richmond 5-7. Fitzroy and Carlton are also playing, and it's a close one there with Carlton 9-7 to Fitzroy 8-10. Recapping, Evander Holyfield has retained his undisputed heavyweight boxing title after beating Larry Holmes in a unanimous points decision in Las Vegas. And finally, this sort of falls into the sporting category. Pedestrians in downtown Washington, D.C. have enough trouble dodging cars, but there is something else causing as much trouble. An early bird special of $6.50 sounds pretty good, except that this special is not to everyone's taste. You see, this pesky little bird gets out on the wrong side of its nest every day. It lines up its victims and dive bombs. And it makes no difference whether they're male or female. The attacks are just as vicious, and all for $6.50. That's not bad, Ken.
I reckon he's a parking attendant. Well done, Bear. There are a few more complex personalities than that bird. Well, let's go back to that. A few more complex
All about the Doomben Cup. Here's Kenny Callender.
Thanks, Maxie. And I don't think Fred's that old-fashioned. I reckon he'll go to the laser show. But the show in Brisbane is being put on by Rough Habit. Everybody thought he'd be about 2-1 on, 5-2 on. He's in the red with bookmakers, but if you're having a bet, only just. And on the tote, he's actually showing 6-4 against at the moment on the Queensland TAB. That could be expected to shorten to perhaps evens. And, well, that's probably not a bad price about the champ. He's got a wide alley, but he's some horse. Equidity is at 20-1 at the moment on the tote. 16 mantle piece. Majestic Boy, RS Die, big race jockey, in at 7-1. Native Neptune at 60-1. Chevelle Cavalier easily beat Majestic Boy last week. He's at 16-1, and he's got the jockey at the moment, C Munts. Multi-Sync is big odds. Mercator is 50-1. Travelling Teller is also at 100-1. Cross Swords at 30-1. Fleet Dancer at 50-1. Procyon at 33-1. Sea Mist at 20. Lee's bid this time last year, she was one of the star horses, but not going as well now at 66-1. Now the horse best back to beat Rough Habit is Mick Dittman's mount, Kinjite. We know a lot about him in Sydney. He goes well at Randwick, and a lot of money today to say he'll go well at Doomben over 2,020 metres. He's already won over 2,000 metres, and the bottom horse, Captain Cook, at 8-1. About to go, here's Wayne Wilson for the 1992 Doomben Cup.
Waiting on the starting signal to be given. Rough Habit, the tote favourite, 185, 140. Line's good. Light on. Set. Captain Cook, Towie, mantelpiece moving about. Equidity marking time. Racing now. In the centre, mantelpiece hesitated, missed it a length or so, and so did Procyon. Captain Cook began brilliantly, and he's raced straight to the lead. Majestic Boy showing speed. Cross Swords popping over onto the rails. Seamus Kinjite next, followed by Travelling Teller, Fleet Dancer. Further back, Chevelle Cavalier. Equidity next on the rails, then Native Neptune. Well back in the field is Rough Habit. He's about fifth last as they go to the post the first time. Getting back to is Multi-Sync. Lee's bid about third last, then Mercator and Mantelpiece at the rear. 1,600 metres out. And the Kiwi is rolling along out in front. Captain Cook, he moves away. Two in front now. Majestic Boy second, up nice and handy. He's pulling a little bit, Majestic Boy, followed then by Cross Swords on the rails. 1.5 lengths to Kinjite, who's settled beautifully. He's fourth on the outside. Well, Rough Habit giving them quite a start as they race into the back. I refer to Majestic Boy and Kinjite. Travelling Teller's fifth on the rails. One to Sea Mist, then Equidity, Fleet Dancer, Chevelle Cavalier, followed by Procyon, Native Neptune. Rough Habit's back fifth last on the inside of Native Neptune, and he's about 12 lengths from the leader. Then Multi-Sync. Further back came Lee's bid, Mantelpiece, and Mercator's last of all. Running past the 1,000-metre point, the leader here, Captain Cook. Captain Cook leads by a length on Majestic Boy. Third is Cross Swords on the inside. 1.5 to Kinjite, travelling nicely. Travelling Teller is next on the rails, followed then by Sea Mist on the outside of Equidity. Fleet Dancer next, starting to go forward, and there goes Cassidy on Rough Habit. He's starting to gather in these leaders now. He's sweeping around them three deep. Chevelle Cavalier's next on the inside, then Native Neptune. Well back is Mercator down the side, 550 metres left to go. Captain Cook is the leader, Majestic Boy running second, Kinjite is running third. Cross Swords is next on the rails, then Sea Mist. Rough Habit about four deep as they run to the bend, but he's coming out after these leaders. Into the home straight, 350 metres to go. Captain Cook is the leader, a length in front of Majestic Boy. On the outside, Kinjite and Rough Habit. Rough Habit starting to gather them in now. Here he comes. Rough Habit's joining in quickly on the outside, and inside the 200-metre point, he's hit the front. Kinjite's going with him. Rough Habit and Kinjite. Rough Habit just in front of Kinjite. Kinjite grabbing him. They hit it. Oh, it's close. Very close. Kinjite or Rough Habit. It could go either way. Tight for third as well. A great run in the race. Chevelle Cavalier. Just behind them was Captain Cook, followed by Fleet Dancer. Sea Mist is there as well. Cross Swords, Travelling Teller, Mercator, Native Neptune. The next one in then was Majestic Boy, Mantelpiece, Equidity, well back Procyon, and the last two home, Multi-Sync and Lee's bid.
Well, let's have a look at this finish again. Let's line up these two favourites. Kinjite on the inside and the blinkers, white sleeves, red and black colours, and outside him with a baldy face and the blue cap is the favourite, Rough Habit. Now, Rough Habit was going to go straight past him, but he's run-ended. Dittman got to work on Kinjite. The three-year-old responded. Now, Rough Habit seemed to turn his head in there. Cassidy has to sort of put the whip away, straighten him up. Kinjite gets clear, and now Rough Habit dives at him on the line. And remember, that angle probably goes to favour the outside horse fractionally. There's not a split inch in it, and will, or I should say a split centimetre, Maxie Walker, and we'll send the result down the line.
Yes, we certainly will. That was a very, very close race, and we'll update you in just a moment. This is Nine's Wide World of Sports. Shortly, the Australian crews set the pace in the Molokai canoe race. We will be back with more, as promised, in just a moment.
On Monday's Melbourne Extra, the league's goal-kicking giant meets his biggest fan and tells how he almost gave the game away.
You know, I think the pressure was starting to get to me a little bit.
And what keeps him on the field. Melbourne Extra, 5:30 weeknights.
Rough Habit, the winner of the Doomben Cup. A close finish between Rough Habit and Kenjite, and the winner saluting the crowd. A terrific finish, and a photo for third. We will check those dividends for you as soon as they come to hand. We've got the placings with Rough Habit $1.80 and $1.20, Kenjite $1.85, and a photo for third. Check those for you a little later on. Next race for live coverage is the Howell Handicap. Beepre's boy has strong support on course. Darren Beedman hoping to help at home. What a finish that was, Ken, huh?
Yeah, good race, terrific race. Earlier this afternoon... And over we go. Our World's Strongest Man contest is headed for a thrilling conclusion. We'll have that a little later.
The second leg of the Sydney Double is the RA Howell Handicap. Let's rejoin John Tapp at Royal Randwick.
Good on you, Max. That was the late Bob Howell, who served with great energy on the AJC committee for a period of 6 or 7 years before his death. He enjoyed a lot of success as a racehorse owner, and one to carry his colours was a very good horse, a weight for age performer called Always Welcome. It's regarded as a two-horse race between Real Grit, trained by Tommy Smith, winner of his last 2 starts, and Beppa's Boy, who's been to Brisbane recently, where he won a race at Eagle Farm. I guess the best of the outsiders, Ken, is the filly San Sapa, who beat an ordinary field midweek at Canterbury recently, but by crikey, it was an easy win.
Yeah, she won easily, very easily, John, but I doubt if she's up to these other two. I hope she's not. I'm just about due to tip a winner. This might be the one. You can't count Rough Habit. He was too short. I reckon Beppa's Boy might beat Real Grit here. Let's look at the prices. Real Grit, 10 to 9, getting out now to 5. Better make that 11 to 8. Out to $2.80. He's favourite. On Kylie's Run is at 20 to 1 into 16 to 1. French Prince, 14s out to 15s. Now this is my tip, Beppa's Boy, 7 to 2 into 3s. Treen at 14 to 1 into about 12 to 1, better make that 11s. San Sapa, the horse John spoke of, is into 15 to 1. Beppa's Boy, go back to him, I see now into 11 to 4, $3.70. Right down to San Sapa at 15, so Winston at 50, Star Tate 33, he's into about 25s, might come in a little bit more too, money for him in the ring. Liberator at 50 to 1, Quiet Riot at 100, Richfield will be up near the lead, I'd expect, in this field at 20 to 1, Frank Hu at 8 to 1, Drawn in Red, he'll probably lead, even though he's a 100 to 1 chance, he's got plenty of toe. Prince Rebo, he's longer than 300 to 1, and Bidgie Bido at 66 to 1. 240 for Real Grit, and $3.70 for $1 for Beppa's Boy. John, I hope you call Beppa's Boy first.
Well, Ken, I'll see if I can give him the run of the race for you. Or at least, let's hope Darren Beedman can do that. Now, all set. Liberator is the inside runner, and they steady down now. Starter has the button, off and running. Pretty fair start, although a little bit slow to move was Sir Winston, who came out awkwardly, and so did Prince Rebo. Drawn in Red bounced out in front at the start. French Prince and Star Tate are quickly into stride, so is On Kylie's Run from a wide barrier. Real Grit is getting in behind those, although he's still 3 deep. Richfield between horses, followed by Liberator, and then Beppa's Boy. Sir Winston next, and San Sapa trapped a bit deep in the run to the first turn, followed by Quiet Riot, Frank Hu, Bidgie Bido, and then Prince Rebo, and dropping out last is Treen to the 800-metre crossing and drawn in red, led about a neck to On Kylie's Run. A length and a half away in third place, French Prince on the inside of Richfield, and Star Tate makes a line of 3. 2 lengths or a bit more then to Liberator, a neck away Real Grit, followed by Quite Riot, and then Beppa's Boy, who's tagging Real Grit as they come to the turn. At the head of the others, Sir Winston, followed by San Sapa, and then Prince Rebo, Frank Hu and Bidgie Bido, and Trina's tailed off as they come around the corner. Into the straight, drawn in red, about to be grabbed by On Kylie's Run, who takes a narrow lead. They bumped a couple of times there. Richfield in third place, followed by French Prince, and then Star Tate. Liberator putting in a dash, and Real Grit has come right out to the middle of the track. He wants to bore off the track at the 200 mark. On Kylie's Run hard up against the inside rail. Richfield in the centre, and Real Grit is running to the outside fence. He's going to throw this away by the look of it. On Kylie's Run right over on the inside rail has beaten Real Grit, who couldn't have got any wider. Now there's 3 of them there for third. Liberator, Richfield and Trina's close up. A good run, followed by Sir Winston, Beppa's Boy, San Sapa, then Quite Riot, Bidgie Bido, drawn in red, followed by Prince Rebo, Frank Hu and Star Tate, and French Prince weakened right out of it to finish at the tail of the field. Well, you've heard of a good thing beaten. I don't know how far that should have won by. Real Grit, somebody must have put a burr under the saddle. On Kylie's Run will pay $18 and $4.20. On Kylie's Run, $18 and $4.20. Real Grit, $1.40, and 3 of them there for third, including Treen, Liberator and Richfield in a photo for third. Ken, what happened to Real Grit? I've never seen him do that before.
No, John, but they'll always find tricks for you, horses, and I sympathise with those who backed him. But no doubt about the winner on Kylie's Run. Got beaten at Gosford last start and fell in at Gundagai in a photo finish at his start before that. But that meant nothing today as Terry Duckett kept him going strongly, and as we pick him up again here, really he was the only horse in the race over the last couple of 100 metres. On Kylie's Run is trained by Billy Mitchell here at Randwick. That's Richfield he's getting away from there. Liberator further out in the green and gold colours, and I don't really think we can pick up Real Grit even in this shot, which spans right across the track. Here he is now, way out under the arches, and as John told you, he's actually run second, but they don't pay her for second. Okay, that was the story of the racing at Randwick. One more to go in Melbourne, and we'll be back for that later. Thanks, Max.
Yeah, good on you, Kenny. Stay right where you are, because we'll be giving you a chance at the $5,000 at our Memorable Moments giveaway, plus catching up on the latest highlights from the US Open Golf. More in a moment.
It was the Hey Hey sensation of the year.
Oh, don't stop now.
Whipping the crowd into a frenzy
Fiddlesticks.
with the craziest fun around.
Do I grunt?
Tonight, more exclusive previews of Batman Returns. Hey Hey, 6:30 tonight on 9.
From the update desk, dividends on race 7, the Hull Handicap at Randwick, where the numbers were 2, 1, 11. On Kylie's Run, 18.90 and 4.20. Real Grit, $1.40, and Richfield, $4.90. Now, 3 AFL games on today. Progress scores for you. Hawthorn on the West Coast, Hawthorn by 4, 6-8 to 6-4. Richmond and St Kilda are doing battle as well. St Kilda well in front, 19-10 to 5-10, and Fitzroy and Carlton, with Carlton leading 14-8 to Fitzroy's 11-11. On the slopes this weekend, conditions are looking pretty good once more. Here's Mike Petrie.
Thanks, Bear. What a fabulous day we've got in the mountains. We had inclement weather during the week, a bit of sleet, drizzle and sometimes a few flurries of snow, but today has turned out absolutely sensational. Blue skies, Perish's Front Valley behind me, and tons of people down here having a pretty good time. Snow quality's terrific for this time of year. On screen you'll see skiing today at Perish's Front Valley. We've got lifts open from Front Valley basically right across to the quad chair at mid-station and 2 lifts at Smiggins. At Thredbo, they've got the Super Trail well covered from top to bottom. It's a bit sticky and soft towards the bottom, but still quite skiable and good, and High Noon running to the bottom as well, and Friday Flat for beginners. At Blue Cow Mountain, great skiing all over on the Guthaga side. Every lift's open and a few lifts open in front of the terminal at Blue Cow, and you can ski across. Victoria did well out of last week's snowfall as well. Mount Buller have 10 lifts operating today, fair to good on most runs with natural snow, and excellent on Burke Street. At Falls Creek, they've got 19 lifts open. That's nearly all of their lifts, and great on the snow-making areas, good elsewhere, and Mount Hotham good on all the groom slopes with 3 runs going. So, Bear, we couldn't ask for more at this time of the year, and the Bureau says huge snowfalls predicted for Tuesday, which would be fabulous news.
Yeah, Mike, it looks fantastic. OK, they're just about set for a start in the Mayfield Handicap in Melbourne, so let's go out to Randwick and Ken Callender. Ken?
Yeah, thanks very much, Ian. I think we've just about time to go through the tote prize.